Hello, everyone. Welcome. Before we get started, I was wondering, does anyone have any questions regarding last week's homework? No, we were all clear with what we had to do. Awesome. So then, let's get started with today's session. If there are no further questions, um, so for today, let's go immediately into the recommended author and book of the day. So, Dora, if you don't mind reading the first two paragraphs for us.
Octavia Estelle Butler was a groundbreaking African-American author who redefined the science fiction genre by incorporating themes of race, gender, power, and humanity. Born in Pasadena, California, Butler was a shy child who found refuge in books and libraries. She began writing early in life, and despite encountering skepticism and rejection in a predominantly white, male-dominated literary field, she persevered, driven by a desire to see people like herself reflected in speculative fiction. Butler's work is often characterized by complex world building, deeply philosophical questions, and morally ambiguous characters. She didn't just imagine new worlds, she interrogated the structures of her own. Her stories often center on survival, adaptability, and transformation, with protagonists who are outsiders or visionaries struggling to rebuild broken societies.
Thank you so much. All right, Alex, can you read the last paragraph for us?
She became the first science fiction writer to receive a MacArthur Genius Grant and is widely credited with influencing generations of speculative fiction writers, especially those with marginalized backgrounds. Her legacy continues to grow as her works remain startlingly relevant in today's world of environmental crisis, political instability, and social unrest.
Awesome, thank you so much. So let's move on to one of her works, very interesting piece of literature here called Parable of the Shower. So, Lynn, if you don't mind reading the first two paragraphs for us.
Set in a dystopian America in the 2020s, Parable of the Sower takes place in a society where climate change, corporate greed, and government collapse have reduced the country to chaos. Lawlessness, hunger, and violence are everywhere. In the midst of this collapse lives Lauren Alamina, a 15-year-old girl living in a walled-off community just outside of Los Angeles. Unlike the others in her neighborhood who cling to the remnants of the past, Lauren sees the inevitable downfall of their fragile safety. Lauren has a condition called hyperempathy, which causes her physical and emotional feel the pain of others, something that is both a burden and ultimately a strength. After her community is destroyed and her family is lost, she's forced to travel north through the chaos, danger, and despair of the American wasteland.
Thank you so much. And then let's see. Alex, can you please read the last two paragraphs for us?
As she journeys, Lauren develops a new belief system called Earthseed, centered on the idea that God is change. She begins to gather a group of followers not through conquest or power, but through compassion, vision, and shared hope for a better future. Earthseed's ultimate goal to take humanity to the stars, literally and more metamorphically. Did you say two or just one?
Sorry, what was that question?
Did you say both paragraphs or just that one?
Oh, both, please.
Okay. The novel is written in a journey entry format, giving readers intimate access to Lauren's thought as she evolves from a frightened girl into a spiritual leader. It's it's a prophetic, urgent work that mirrors our own world struggles and climate disaster, social inequality, and need for radical new ways of thinking.
Awesome. So now Sorry. So now that we got to understand a little bit of the novel and who the author is, what I want you guys to do is take a look at Parable of the Sower. And then we know that the author observes that embrace diversity, unite or be divided, robbed, ruled, killed by those who see you as prey. So even if you haven't read the book, what I want you guys to do is reflect on the quote. What does it say about the role of unity and diversity in times of crisis or in everyday society? Which is a question that is being asked a lot, actually, in these days. So it's very relevant. And then, do you believe embracing diversity is essential to survival and progress, or are there limits and challenges to this idea? So, what I want you guys to do is write a reflective piece in which you explore what the quote means to you, whether you believe diversity strengthens or weakens a community, or and discuss a time in history or in your life or the world today where unity across differences made a real impact, or where division led to breakdown. And then finally, how individuals or groups can practice this kind of unity in realistic and tangible ways. So does anyone have any questions regarding this? No, we're all clear with the instructions for this task? All right, then. So what I'm going to do is give you guys around 10 minutes to complete. It doesn't have to be terribly long, as long as you're clear on, what you should be discussing. And also, this is your perspective, so there's no wrong answers. So just go with what you feel, and of course, apply a little bit of support to your point, whether that be from your life, a life example, historic example, or even a modern example. Okay, so 10 minutes starting now. And then please submit your responses into the chat when you are done. So you guys have 3 more minutes. Raise your hand if you would like an extra 5 minutes. I just want to make sure that everyone is on track, but if 5 minutes is needed, please let me know. You still have 3 minutes to complete your work. No? All right. So then please submit your work in 3 minutes. If you do finish early, please take this opportunity to as well self-edit your work. There's easily small mistakes that can be missed in your first draft. So always reread it, see what you can find that you can edit. So then when I'm editing, there won't be anything too obvious. All right. So 2 more minutes. All right, time is up. Please submit your work of what you have done so far, and then we're going to take the time to edit. I'm just going to get the document prepared for us. All right, Dora, let's take a look at yours. And Alex, you are next. And Lynn. All right, so Dora, you said the quote emphasizes the importance of unity in diversity, especially during times of crisis. Um, it suggests that when people come together, regardless of their differences, they become stronger than those who may exploit divisions for their gain. Uh, because exploit already uh hints on the idea that it is for their gain, uh definitively, like in definition wise, this part is not necessarily needed, so we'll just take that out. In everyday society, so instead of saying in everyday, I would say daily society, or just society in general. Actually, we could just say society. um em- uh, um then we could say the embracement of diversity leads to better perspective, or lead to better perspectives, uh fostering an environment where everyone feels valued. Awesome. However, there are limits and challenges such as prejudices and inequalities that can overshadow. Try to avoid using can. It allows this sense of hesitancy, and especially when it comes to reflective or opinionated essays. As a reader, I want to feel convinced, even if it's solely based on your opinion and it's hypothetical. It should still feel like as if you are convinced that what you're saying is fact. So any type of wording that provides any type of hesitancy should be avoided. Shadow true unity. While I believe embracing diversity is essential for survival progress, it requires continuous effort to overcome these challenges. Uh, Instead of saying to me, you could say in my you can say my approach to the quote serves as a reminder that our strength lies in our ability to unite and support one another rather than allowing divisions to weaken us. Awesome. I would say add a specific example. While you provided reasoning for, prejudices and challenges, and talking about why diversity can be a good thing, we need more so uh a specific example to bring visualization to your work. All right. So that would be helpful. And then the rest we've already covered in terms of your feedback. Any questions, Dora?
No.
All right. Alex, let's see your work. So you said the quote, embracing diversity, blah, 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 means that without another way means that is fine. I want to give you a different possibility or something to just judge up instead of saying just means. What you could say is that it just had approaches, or sorry, brings the understanding that without unity, people become easy targets for harm or control. I believe diversity strengthens. I think the I believe is not necessary. Although it is a reflective essay, we can just say it as such. Diversity strengthens the community because different perspectives help. And then instead of saying us as a general statement, what you could either say is society, or if you want to be more specific, maybe students, for example, or citizens. Or you can do a lot, but instead of saying us, bring more. I think one of these words would be great. Solve problems and support one another. During the COVID-19 pandemic, people from many backgrounds worked together. Doctors, delivery workers, and neighbors helped each other no matter their race or beliefs. This unity saved lives and showed the power of coming together in a crisis. Okay, so that's a good step, but then how? What exactly did they do? For example, they followed protocol, right? They maintained social distancing. Neighbors left maybe gift baskets to their other neighbors or provided extra masks when there wasn't any. Be a little bit more specific in terms of that. This unity saved lives and showed the power of coming together in a crisis. Differences only lead to breakdown when people refuse to understand or accept others. What you can, instead of saying can be, unity is practiced through listening, being open-minded, and standing up for others. Even small actions like wearing a mask or help. Oh, is it here? Someone in needs showed how unity made a real impact. This part should be here, where the how is. In times of crisis, embracing diversity isn't just helpful, it's essential for survival and progress. Awesome. Any questions regarding the feedback here, Alex?
No.
Okay. So, Lynn, let's take a look at yours. You said this quote means to me. Uh, I would say provides an understanding that through diversity, we will always, or sorry, actually, no, that diversity will always be there, but it is your choice to accept it. I would say will exist despite choice. Despite the choice to accept it or fight it. I think diversity strengthens a community because you are able to uh, was it because of the various perspectives and ideas improve. Also, I think should be avoided. You can just say diversity. Strengthens the community because of the various perspective and ideas improving society to its fullest. In my experience, division leads to better ideas as we will always careful with spelling, compromise, different ideas. This way we I would take this out. Gather would be the term we would use here. We got in Mike's this way we gather everyone's idea and utilize them in effective. So be careful with spelling again, effective ways. One time this happened was what we could say here is a personal example uh, of sharing ideas was during the time of a group project I was involved in. And let me take this out. Uh, all of my friends, I would take of out. All my friends, different cultures. I would just say my friends. My friends, different cultures helped us make the best dish of the grade. Uh, I would emphasize this saying through the practice of uniting ideas. Practicing unity can be hard, but it is important to be open to ideas and recognize that no one's idea is always 100% right. This is adding numbers is sometimes problematic in writing. Depends. If you, of course, numbers is included in writing, not saying it's never is, but because this is a reflective essay, I would find a different way to say always 100% right. So what we could say is nearly right, or just saying always right, and just not including the 100%. Okay. Any questions, Lynn, regarding the feedback I just gave you right now?
No.
All right. So let's move on. We won't do the quote of the day just yet. So with this, we're going to continue as we do in our sessions. We're going to cover a lot of SAT prep that will not only help you with doing the test, but it will help you in general with your writing, with making sure you're at a good standard for doing amazing on the SAT, but doing amazing in your own personal writing, making sure that we are going above and beyond through this SAT practice. So with here, this is an example of what you would typically find in a writing and reading task. Now, what you see here is that with each number, it is underlined. With the underlined matches a question. What you're going to do is see if there needs to be any grammatical changes. For example, do we switch the structure of the wording? Do we switch the word itself? Do we switch the tense? This is all based on grammar and structure, writing structure. So there's 8 multiple choice questions here. So I'm going to give you guys around 8 minutes to complete, and then we will move on. Does anyone have any questions? No? All right then. So you may get started. 8 minutes starting now. So you guys have 1 more minute until you have to submit your responses. Okay, so time is up. Please submit your responses. I am going to move on to the next slide. There is 3 more questions left before we take up the answers. So here I'm going to just give you guys maybe like 3 minutes. Nothing too much. But yeah, 3 minutes. All right, time is up. Please submit your responses. I am gonna start taking up the answers in 3, 2, 1. So the answer is D, B, B, C, B, A, C, B, D, C. Does anyone have any questions regarding the answers or would like to go over any specific question at all? No? We're all clear? All right. So let's move on to the next task. So this is more so a short story, not short story because this is more so based on it's more nonfiction that talks about like tin and metal and all this uh interesting. It's interesting information, but typically you would find something like this in the SAT where they would provide you a passage of some sort, whether it be nonfiction or fictional, and you would have to assess it with the following multiple choice. So we're going to take turns reading. So Alex, can you please read lines 1 up until uh 25? You're going to stop at smelter, all right?
Um, Tin is a metal often found in nature in its oxidized form as the mineral called cassiterite. Cassiterite has been the primary source of tin throughout history and remains the primary source of tin today. Small amounts of tin are also recovered from sulfide minerals such as stannite. Cassiterite is found in oler, o- olival deposits and can also be found in lode deposits in association with other metallic minerals. Cassiterite is mined by the dredging of olival deposits where the ore is broken up by either high pressure water or ex, ex, excavator or hard rock mining methods, usually from underground mines. Crushed ore is concentrated, usually in co-location with the mine, through a combination of flotation, gravity, and magnetic process to produce a cassiterite concentrate containing 70 to 77% tin. Tin concentrate is then smelted by heating it in the presence of carbon to 1200 to 1300 degrees Celsius, reducing the cassiterite to tin metal and releasing carbon dioxide. Following the smelting process to produce tin metal, the remaining impurities are removed through a refining process, usually at facility co-located with the smelter.
Awesome. Okay, so let's see who is going to be next. Dora, can you please continue up until line let's see. I would say up until line 45, up until replace. 40 line 46. You'll stop at replace. All right.
Wait, where do I start?
You would start at refining tin.
Okay. Refining tin involves heating it to temperatures just past the tin melting point, allowing impurities to drop out as solids and then skimming off the pure liquid tin. Refining is done by either heat treatment or electrolytic processes. Heat treatment uses carbon-based fuel as a main heat source, usually in a reverberatory furnace. Heat treatment is more widely used than electrolytic processes but produces only 99.85% tin. Electrolytic processing involves inserting the smelted tin in an ionic solution and running an electrical current through it. The smelted tin is the anode and the cathode collects the pure tin metal. Electrolytic processing is more expensive but provides up to 99.99999% tin. Tin is often found in everyday life. It is a primary component of solder. Solder is used to combine two pieces of metal, allowing an electrical charge to flow across the connection. Solder is used on every electronic circuit board, and it is difficult or expensive to replace.
Awesome. Okay, and then Lynn, if you don't mind reading the rest.
There are some substitutes available for tin, which lead being the most viable alternative. Solder has been made from lead and tin, but since the Safe Drinking Water Act, tin has become the primary metal in solder. Tin is also a primary component in food-grade tin cans manufactured from tin plate. Tin plate is made by annealing molten tin onto a steel sheet. The resulting metal forming into cans is then used in canning food, where the tin prevents corrosion and bleeding of steel into the food product. Tin plate accounts for about 25% of domestic tin composition because tin is not harmful to humans. It is preferred method of canning and preserving food for long-term storage. Substitutes for tin plate include aluminum, plastic, and organic coated steel. Tin is also used in chemicals and accounts for 35% of domestic consumption.
Awesome. All right. So here I have some multiple choice. There's more to come, but please complete questions numbers 1 through 4. I'm going to give you guys around 5. Actually, I'll give you 4 minutes to complete, and then we'll move on to the next slide. One more minute. All right, time is up. Please submit your responses. I am going to move on to the next slide in 3, 2, 1. All right, so complete questions 6, oh, excuse me, 6 through 10. If you do have any questions regarding the multiple choice, please let me know. I have no problem going over certain questions with you either privately in chat or out in the open. I'm open for both. And if you don't understand a certain multiple choice question, that is totally okay. Do the most you can with the time that you have. Um, but yeah, try to do your best with the multiple choice that you see here. That being said, you have 3 more minutes. Sorry about that. You have 1 more minute to complete the multiple choice that you see here. As I mentioned, it's okay if you have not completed all, but I do encourage everybody to at least approach and participate in the multiple choice that you see here, especially if doing the SAT is something that that interests you, as well as practicing your reading analysis. As I mentioned, 1 more minute. All right, time is up. Please submit your responses if you have not done so already. We are going to take up the answers now in 3, 2, 1. Oh, sorry, actually, for question number 10, it might have been hard to answer. So actually take this extra minute to double check question number 10 for the sentence in 79 to 81. Um, double check your answers for question number 10. I'll give you the extra minute to do so, as you'll have to look at line 79 to 81. Okay, so if you just make sure you cross-reference questions 6 through 10, and also double check number 10 as you now have access to the lines. So here we'll take up the multiple choice now. So it is B, C, B, C, C, B, D, D, C, D. Does anyone have any questions regarding the multiple choice? Would like to go over any specific question? Please do so right now. I highly encourage any one of you, if you want to go over a specific question, please, especially one that you might have gotten wrong, please let me know so that I can explain to you why it would be that certain correction. No? All right then. So, now judging with the time, we have two options here. We can do another writing task that will refer to the reading that we have done, or we can do another SAT section that involves rewording and properly restructuring sentences to be the most grammatically correct and the most proper. So raise your hand if you would like to do the writing task over this task. We only have enough time for either or. No, we're good with this task here. Okay. So then please complete questions 1 through 4. Here you're going to find phrases and sentences, and then you're going to take a look at the underlined, and this is going to help you practice how to restructure certain sentences that maybe you're used to seeing or using, and then you can find inspiration into the better structured ones. So please, again, do questions 1 through 4. I'm going to give you 4 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next slide. One more minute. All right, time is up. Please submit your responses. I am going to move to the next slide in 3, 2, 1. All right, so here are 4 more sentences that you see here. Again, same idea. You are restructuring these sentences to be better, to be more grammatically correct, to kind of have it seem more proper, more structurally correct as well. So pick the best option that you see here, and then we will move on to the answer key. Okay, so you may get started. Again, I encourage everyone to participate in the multiple choice, just so we can making sure that you're practicing not only practicing questions like this, that again is found a lot in the SAT, but also practicing the way you are able to correct certain sentences that may sound originally correct, but there's always a better way to phrase it. So this is a great way to challenge your writing skills as well. So again, I encourage everyone to approach the multiple choice, and then we'll take it up in 4 minutes. Sorry, in 2 minutes. All right, time is up. Please submit your responses, and then we're going to take it up in 3, 2, 1. So, here we have D, B, B, C, A, C, B, A. Is there any specific question that someone would like for me to go over? Just to see what that correct response is. Maybe receive a little bit more of an explanation on why that it may be. No? Well, let's go over the last one that we see here. Uh, So here, perhaps some superstitions arose from the belief that after a disaster first occurred, it would repeat itself under the similar circumstances. So the reason why it's A is because here it is correct. We're looking for after disaster first occurred, comma, it would repeat itself under similar circumstances. So the way it is split with the comma is correct. The way it's structured matches the phrase before and after. So no changes that would be needed here. All right. So we do only have 7 minutes left. So what we can do here is, well, let's take this time to finish this for multiple choice, and then we'll quickly go over the homework once we're done. So please take this time to complete the multiple choice, maybe in 3 minutes, and then we'll go over the homework. It's the same idea where you're taking, again, the underlined and restructuring it. So please complete questions 1 through 4. One more minute. All right, so let's move on. All responded. So here for questions 1 through 4, it is D, D, B, A. All right. So let me introduce this week's homework, and then we'll end it here. So for this week's homework, what I want you guys to do is complete the quote of the day. As for the quote, it is, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts, by Winston S. Churchill. So for the prompt, what I want you guys to do is create a short story about a character who is faced with a great triumph or a devastating failure, but learns that the journey isn't over. Maybe they're a warrior who wins a battle, but doubts their worth, an inventor whose dream fails multiple times, or even a kid trying to win a school art contest. The twist? What matters most in the story isn't the outcome, it's the courage they find afterwards. So for what the guidelines I provided for you here is that what kind of genre is up to you, fantasy, sci-fi, drama, or magical realism. The story should highlight internal change, not just external. And then, of course, I encourage you to use all figurative language, but symbolism would be very cool to use. For example, a broken clock that starts ticking again, or a garden that grows slowly after being ruined. So use this type of symbolism within your story. Does anyone have any questions regarding the homework? No? So please submit it into the forum once you have completed the homework, and then you will receive feedback then. All right, does anyone have any questions regarding today's session?